All right, I'm back. I just created one video like 15 minutes ago, trying to upload it. It's a question again, question and answer portion again from my friends that are connecting with me through social media. And this video now is about real estate. Duh! Hey, I gotta do this for a living because this is what I do. Okay? I know this last few 4 weeks, the majority of the videos I've been creating now that I'm back to work. Yes, the family tragedies that happened, and I had to take care of those. But now I'm back. Got to go back to work. It's kind of ironic that when I do this for work, the last 4 weeks, my time has been consumed creating videos with regards to questions that my friends ask. And most of my friends are not military, though I do have a lot of military friends on my social media list. They've been questioning me about my opinion about what's going on with the Middle East and how certain personnel rotations are being conducted and what the missions are, etc., etc. But now let's talk about real estate, because I now have a few friends, again, moving from different parts of the world, that had asked me about Naval Station Everett. The last video I created was about 2 years ago, and I know things have changed between that time and today. So just this is going to be a generic video, okay? Because some of the questions that they have are going to be answerable by this topic. The topic is, what are the 4 most important things you need to know if you're getting transferred to Naval Station Everett? Now, let's start with the first one. If you haven't Googled map or kind of did your research on Naval Station Everett, if you Google map it now, or if you already know, you will notice that my hair is falling all over my eyes, man. Hold on. Okay, am I good? Am I good? Am I looking good? You will know that Naval Station Everett, if you're used to getting stationed in 32nd Street Naval Station, in Hawaii, in Norfolk, man, this base is tiny compared to those. This is even smaller. If you've been to Yokosuka, Japan, and Naval Station Yokosuka, you think that's small. Yokosuka has what, 4 piers? This has 2. This has 2 piers. Yes. Yokosuka, Japan is about 10 times bigger than this base. It's small. So Google map it and you'll see. But don't be surprised, all right? Because the majority of the services are outside of the base. And let me explain why. Of course, you're going to have your 2 piers, your logistical support, your security support, your admin support, a few barracks. There are 2 buildings, actually, 3 buildings that provides barracks or naval personnel. You got a track and field, baseball field, and some other support structures. The Naval Reserve section of the base is also inside Naval Station Everett. And pretty much this is got a small fleet exchange. Pretty much that's it. Because this base was constructed in the early 1990s. I got stationed there in 1998 to 2000 on board a guided missile frigate. At that time, we still had frigates. Yes, frigates. And Abraham Lincoln was stationed there. This was a base built out of necessity because we had to move our ships, home port our ships to different locations to facilitate more, how do you say this, diversified, deny the enemy basically a targeting system that was easier than just putting it on one base. At that point, we had Bremerton. That was it, okay? So this base was built to accommodate that mission. Moving forward, we don't have an aircraft carrier here. All the aircraft carriers that are stationed in the Pacific Northwest have been moved to Bremerton. With the limits going, I think we only have 1 carrier in Bremerton at this point in time. All we have here are guided missile destroyers. I do believe we have 6 or 7 of them there. All Arleigh Burkes. So if you are in an Arleigh Burke community type of rating, we pretty much have everything. It's a tin can sailor community. The aviation side is on the other side. So in aviation, you got to go to Bremerton. But if you are a regular tin can sailor rating, We got it here. There's plenty here. All right? You got all those ships that are stationed here. Now, services is a different matter. Your basic ones are going to be your Navy Exchange and your Navy Commissary. Your banking, Navy Federal Credit Union. Okay, let's talk about that first. Navy Federal Credit Union main office in the Pacific Northwest is in Silverdale. We have a branch in the base in Naval Station Everett. We have a branch off the base 9.5 miles away in the town of Marysville up north. See, when they built this base, they also bought land. There's a lot of tribal reservations here. One of them is Tulalip, and I do believe they bought that land really cheap. And that's where they built the main exchange and the main commissary, which still exists. Okay, there are a lot of supporting buildings around it. Half of it are not being used no more. The Navy Lodge is 300 feet away from the Navy Commissary. You could literally walk. But again, the problem is, don't look for the Navy Exchange Commissary and the Navy Lodge in the base. They have it off the base. Though we have a small fleet exchange, they have NFCU on the base. Okay? We also have a galley on the base, which we call the American Restaurant or something like that. I haven't eaten there in like 10 years. I didn't have to because I don't have business there. I only go there to talk to service members and to help some of them that are looking into moving here or have already moved here and still looking into moving. Okay, move their furniture and stuff, purchasing property or a residential unit. Okay, so now you're probably going to ask me, man, why do I have to go to the main exchange if there's a fleet exchange here? Well, again, understand when this base was built in the early 1990s, I don't think they went that far ahead in envisioning what's going to happen. At that time, the only place where we could shop was the Navy Exchange. I lived off base. Again, number 2 of this topic, all right? I lived off base in a Navy housing, which was about 3 miles from the Navy Exchange in Marysville, okay? And that's when my daughter was born. She's now 25 years old. Well, she's going to be 26 here. See that? Year 2000, when I was last stationed there. So I'm an old fart. So you're probably going to wonder, man, it's just one place to shop. Well, the bad news is that exchange is shrinking in size. Not because it's getting out of business, or for that matter, you're going to probably ask, well, where are we going to shop now? Well, guess what? The reason why it's losing business, the exchange and the commissary, is that stores have propped up in the last 30 years. Now, you're going to see that waterfront on Marine View Drive in Everett, where the base is. That didn't exist then. It was just a shop. It was the main drag where all of these engineering offices were at. There's not even a strip of bars. There's nothing there. Nice thing about it now, that whole waterfront now has developed all the way to Marysville up north, where the majority of our service members now live. Where I live, where my house is at. Okay? So that's where we're at. So don't be alarmed when you say, man, I gotta shop like 10 miles away. No, you don't. Because there are other alternative places to go grocery shopping, to go do your clothes or window shop on everywhere. The biggest mall, I think, north of Seattle in the state of Washington is here. The Seattle Premium Outlet. It's big. It's huge. One of the biggest casino is right beside it. Cabela's is right beside it. Home Depot is right beside it. And in Marysville alone, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different shopping centers. So there you go. I don't even shop in the commissary. For $100, well, $100 ain't really get you a week's worth of food now. Let's just say $200, right? $200, you could fill your trunk if you go to any of these grocery stores. Not so much in the commissary, okay? There's a Costco down the road too. So if you got a big family, that's the way to go, right? Now, those are services. Now, Naval Station Everett is just one of the 7. Yes, we have the third largest fleet concentration of military assets, now correct me on that, naval assets we have in the whole United States. Okay? We are, no, actually fourth. Third in continental behind Norfolk, San Diego, 32nd Street, which basically is encompassed by Coronado and Miramar. Okay, we're third. We have 7 bases here. We have 4 on the Kitsap Peninsula, which includes Bremerton Naval Base, Puget Sound Naval Station, Bangor. We also have Keyport, and the Naval Magazine up north. So there's 4. We have Naval Air Station Whidbey Island, in Whidbey Island, 53 miles away, my last duty station, so that's 5. We have Naval Station Everett, where our guided missile destroyers and our surface combatants are home ported at. And lastly, we have Jim Creek Naval Reservation. It's our 55,000 acre recreational site, which houses the Jim Creek radio station. It's basically one of the 2 bases that we have for communicating with our ballistic missile submarines, which is in Bangor. Okay, that's why we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bases on the Kitsap County side, 1 in Island County, and 2 down here in Snohomish County. So we have all the facilities here. Okay, so when you say Naval Station Everett is small, no, we are actually enveloped by 7 naval installations. Okay, so we talked about the services, which includes the Navy Exchange and commissary and other competing civilian established shopping centers, malls, you name it. I'm about to go to Cabela's now and buy, anyway. Housing, that's the problem that we have here. We don't have enough. Well, guess what? We don't have enough anywhere, right? So, if you are enlisted, majority of us are, there's a housing complex up north of Marysville, another one in Lake Stevens. Again, you go to the Pacific Northwest website that controls this, okay? And pretty much it'll tell you everything, how to report, where to go, and what you need, okay? Lastly, the weather. If you have not been to the Pacific Northwest, it is totally false when they say it rains there all the time. Now, unless you're Filipino by birth like me, who was born back home, this is nothing compared to where I came from. Because back home, when the monsoon comes up, we get about 7 to 8 months of rain. Ha! Nothing compared to America, huh? On a serious note, look. People have this misconception that it rains in the Pacific Northwest too much because the majority of the time it's almost always cloudy. Cloudy does not mean it rains. Now, this is a bad winter month. Normally, when you talk about winter up north, it's snow, right? Well, we can see snow now. My backyard is the Cascade Mountains, the Cascade Mountain Range. My front yard is the Olympic Peninsula, where actually Bangor, Bremerton, and Keyport are based at, where they're located at. So I'm surrounded by mountains. You can see the snow-capped mountains. But we're only about, where I live in Marysville, I live up on the hill. We're about 100 to 200 feet above sea level. So the snow doesn't come down here. Once every 3 years, it'll snow. Not that bad. I mean, we can still travel through snow without chains and all that, right? Few inches to about a foot. 3 years ago, we had about 2 feet of snow. That was it for a few days, okay? Gets more snow again on the other side because the other side is where, you know, the banana pipeline comes through and the flow of air blows all the snow and precipitation in the Olympic Mountains. We get that too. Now, when it rains here, it's not. If you're a Filipino like me, it doesn't pour for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or months. No, it'll stop. It'll drizzle. Okay. Sometimes you'll have 2-inch flood. Yes, they call an inch of water here a flood. It does get wet. We don't even use umbrellas. Yes, if you want to be laughed at, bring an umbrella and use it. No Washingtonian ever uses an umbrella. That tells you what? We get sporadic rainfall. We don't get this continuous pour like out of a shower. No, we don't get that. Right now, it's in the low 50s, and it's the first week of spring. It'll gradually crop up. This is the best time for you guys to get stationed here because the weather is just perfect, right? The Tulip Festival, the largest field of tulips in the world, next to the Netherlands, is not located anywhere else. It's located here, 30 miles north of us. If you want to see tulips, get it in April, okay? Jim Creek Naval Reservation. If you love camping, not just the reservation, if you love outdoor sports, water sports, summer outdoor recreational activities from hiking, exploring, camping, shooting, look, hunting, fishing, this is it. Oh my God, I never even envisioned that I'm capable of doing that now, all right? But I do love to shoot. I shoot about 200 to 300 rounds a week. I reload my own ammo. I didn't learn that till I got here, okay? So come on down. So those are just 4 of the little tidbits of information that you need to know. Contact your sponsors. Make sure you're prepped. If you have to come down here and purchase a home before you even move here, that's on you, okay? I say use it wisely. Talk to a great real estate agent. It doesn't have to be me. There's about 35,000 of us in the whole state. But my job is to just make sure that your move is easy. If you want to use me as a realtor, hey, I'm all for it. I don't have a social life. This is all I do now. Aside from shoot. Okay? Drive all over the place and get lost. Yes. You see a Filipino out there in a place where he shouldn't be. That wouldn't be me. Okay? So, to the men and women out there that are currently deployed, we love you guys. Come on home. It has been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to have served. Post.